It's road trip time with the Volvo EX60. You can enjoy this beautiful landscape here behind us, but how did we actually get here and how does it drive on the German Autobahn? What's the efficiency and real-world range at different speeds at 100, 130, 160 kilometers an hour, so at 60, 80 or 100 miles per hour? The concise charging test will be very impressive, I can already tell you so far. And of course, Leah will also be with me and comment extensively on the EX60 and also the relation to the BMW iX3 and the Mercedes GLC Electric, the two hottest competitors to this one here. So we'll also draw some comparisons throughout this review and of course give you all other details in exterior, interior and the extensive driving experience in different disciplines, basically also here up the hills in the Alps or Dolomites to be very precise. I'm Thomas, this is Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go here. Closed front because this one here is, so to speak, the electric XC60. That's why they call it EX60. And let's directly take a look here under the hood as for the front capabilities. So it points in the direction then here, and that's like the typical yellow opener we also have with the combustion engines, and there's a small trunk which can house a charging cable or some luggage. That will also be possible. Huge fill in here for the wiper fluid, for example. So yeah, but that already works with the front, and we have also been using the front because then we have luggage in the rear. They can get easily the cable out. The lights, by the way, Thor's hammer design, and you have the Matrix LED standard or Pixel LED, the more elaborate one, optional. This the ultra trim all in, and this one also with the 22-inch wheels. It would start at 20-inch. 21 is also available, and 21 and 22 are the wider wheels. If you go for best range, you would need to stick with the 20-inch wheels. Then here the length is 4.80 meters, 189 inches, and you have the more, like, say, the classic styling. So it doesn't look so much different from the Volvo XC60 from the combustion engine version. Also here the vertical tail lamp design, and here the turning indicators. They are very small though, gotta say, at least two. But is it only the hazard light or does it look the same when I use the turning indicator? Let's find out. So I turn off the hazard light and now I've just put the left. Does it work? No, it's not working. Ah, it probably only works when I put in the gear. There we go. No, two? Okay, so it's the same. Yeah, just wanted to know that. I always like to find out more about these details. So here it says P10 AWD Ultra. Ultra is the highest trim. P10 is the mid battery, and AWD, one electric motor in the rear, one in the front. 4.6 seconds is the acceleration figure. So we would start with P6 that has a 80 kilowatt hour battery, and then this one is the P10. This is 92 kilowatt hour in the battery, and then there's a bigger P12, and this is 112 kilowatt hours in the battery. So this battery here, the P10, is similar to the size of the Mercedes GLC Electric, the bigger one there. And the bigger battery is even a little bit bigger than the one of the iX3. It always depends on the availability. They start here with this version. Later also the cross-country version to come. That one will also offer air suspension. This one here, base suspension or optional adaptive suspension. We'll also test that today. Charging will be super interesting. You'll also see a concise charging test, and the official numbers are 60 minutes for the small and mid-size, 11 or 22 kilowatt AC. Then DC charging is the official peak of 370 kilowatt, and I can already tell you we will reach even a little bit more than that. And the P12 battery would need 19 minutes. So in charging, this one here actually is better than its competitors, but they all have their certain strengths, definitely. Talking about the door handles here, they also have some nice illumination, and it's pro and con. I'm a friend of classic door handles, yes, and also in case of emergency and so on. What they've done here is that the piece of the handle itself is really large, that it's like really stable, that firefighters could also like really rip it off basically. I mean, not rip it off because it's very stable. And you have like a button behind here, and you can see you also have the frameless doors. Very interesting. I'm not a fan of flush door handles, and this is, let's say, somewhat in between. It's not the classic solution, but at least it always stands out. It's always there. That's why they say it also complies with the new Chinese regulations. And as I was seeing it the first time, I was thinking, why this over-engineering? And yes, it is over-engineering in a way still. I would still prefer the classic door handles, but in comparison to flush door handles, this is the more practical solution because they always stand out. And I mean, it's here, and then you grab it and that's it. So it's not that complicated. And with the flush door handles, you have sometimes situations that they are going in the way, like in the moment you want to grab them. And so here I think it's still okay, even though it's not necessary, but it's still okay. That's the thing. By the way, here we also have the laminated windows, so the acoustic windows, that's an option. And it's not only in the front, but also here in the rear. And the thing is, the BMW iX3 doesn't offer that at all. The Mercedes GLC Electric offers the lamination in the front. Only if you would think about segment above that, BMW iX5. That one offers front and rear the lamination, but that's actually good. It's not only in the passive dampening, it's also active noise cancellation, and we will also talk about that because, yeah, that's also has some pros and cons. Very interesting to come there as well. Now to the interior, and you access everything with your smartphone basically. You can also here do the climate preconditioning in the app, for example, that everything stays cool or warm then in winter times. And yeah, we talked about the door handles. I'm getting used to it, definitely. Frameless doors, and the interesting thing is that it's still a very nice door closing sound, and that is quite rare actually. There are some things, sometimes it's like when you close and then now it's okay, but sometimes it's like puts it higher again. And also when you are using the here like the window levers, and sometimes you put the window up and then pull it again when the door is closed, and it goes lower and upper once again. So yeah, sometimes it's a little bit bogus, so to speak. And then here, instead of the doors, this is everything nicely covered. This bright Scandinavian design, really beautiful. This is also the completely animal-free interior. Bose & Wilkins sound system is an option. Sounds really nice. I would still prefer the Burmester in the Mercedes though. It's a little bit better, but both super high level. Then here 4 window levers, and this is then basically like a additional window lever, the opening from the inside. And here, this is like the electric one, slightly pulling, and bang, that would be the manual one. At least the electric and the manual one are in the same place. Then here, the inside and the lower part, this is also not hard plastic, but this is also covered. So I really appreciate it. We hardly see that. This is the only hard part then. And then the steering wheel is really small. I appreciate this two-tone scheme design. Yeah, but this is more like a computer game feeling. But real buttons also here, for example, for the cruise control, right side here for the volume and skip next music title. On the left side, by the way, there's one button here to easily deactivate this EU speed chime law. You can even see that here in the proper digital instruments. They are quite far away, they're quite far away, so they don't offer a head-up display. And that's interesting also in comparison to the iX3 and the Mercedes GLC. The iX3 with the panoramic vision way in the front, the Mercedes GLC with one layer design as for the infotainment. So different interior perspectives. And then here the seats of the Volvo EX60. This is the perforated Nordico. It's leather red, perforation, heating, cooling.
The quality is very nice.
Yeah, the quality is very nice. We gotta say though that the BMW leather red quality of the Veganza is even better. So that's a step above that. I also like the blue fabric seats in the cross-country version that is coming up as well. So probably I would go for these. Yeah, but it's definitely a matter of taste. They still do offer animal skin, sadly, but this one is totally fine. And as I said, you can also get the seat cooling for this one. So all luxury features. And the ergonomics are also really good. Here I feel that the BMW seats are also the best in the ergonomics. If you go for the comfort seat, the sport seat in the BMW is also super cool looking, but a little bit less comfortable in the sit bone area. And the Mercedes seats and these ones are more or less on the same level, I would say. Leah says that she even prefers these here in comparison to the Mercedes seats, but they all come quite close. Yeah, just seating comfort, BMW is top. Then you once again the cockpit perspective, which is maybe one of the cleanest around there. So yes, on the one hand, Scandinavian design here with, for example, the fabric here, living room design, and in the matte wood that is beautifully done. I love that. That's my favorite feature in the interior. but you do also feel the Chinese influence from the Geely mother company, because many other Chinese vehicles also look like this in the interior. And this is also why BMW and Mercedes tried to do something else that looks somehow different, you know. But it's definitely a matter of taste, and I actually like it that all of these three competitors have different interior concepts, because then you can just pick what you like best, you know. So this one here is with a fixed panoramic roof. You do have this digital shade, and then that's always something like that, because you somehow always start searching it again, like where was that, you know, like where was that to control the shade, and
I think
then
it's in the quick
quick controls. Is it?
then roof shading, yeah.
Ah, there it is. Thank you, yeah. Maybe I'm just too old for this, you know. So there you can see looking through, or then this digital PDLC shade. It does not change how much heat is coming in the cabin. That's just against glare.
It is getting hot.
It is getting hot, yeah. It is getting quite hot. And there, for example, we found that the GLC roof has the best filter than the BMW, and then this one here. So this is getting quite hot. It is getting very hot indeed when it's sun.
We tested our comparison.
Yeah, we even did the GLC versus iX3. We did like a roof comparison there, for example. This one was not in there, but yeah, we felt that this one was getting quite hot. No, and we don't have any handles here. So if someone would drive a little bit sportier, then you cannot hold on tight.
If someone is passenger,
yeah. So this is not possible. So no handles here on the inside whatsoever. I like the beautiful bright ceiling, and also here you can extend the sun visors. Get thumbs up. So this is really helpful here. I know that in the Mercedes GLC it is an option for 60 euros. Price performance wise, from the list price, this one here is kind of like the best offer, gotta say that. The screen here is curved, but usually the screens are curved like this, but this one is like curved to the outside. So this one stands out in the middle, then it's curved like this. And the reason for that is that they say then the passenger and the driver can better see each other's side, basically, you know, that's the reason behind it. Manual control here in the lower part and skipping the music title, so that's also appreciated. And here in this hotkey menu, you can put the suspension a little bit firmer. One pedal driving you can change. You can change the driving mode. So this is a good feature. You can easily see that. And we also have native Google Maps support, also with calculating the charging stops, for example. That's really helpful. And you can also, for example, install Waze directly on the vehicle. If you wonder about Apple CarPlay, here, like in the main menu, this will come. And at the moment, it's being said that Apple CarPlay, not sure when you are watching this video, then early or maybe later, but because our videos are online forever. So from November 2026, Apple CarPlay is supposed to arrive here. Yeah, about that. Then here, more speakers here from the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. As I said, great 3D sound, really appreciate it. So I think it's a beautiful design here. This the gear switching here, and then there is no glove box, but some felt covering here at the inside, huge space here. Then you have the cup holders that are right there, good space. But somehow I do sometimes miss the space underneath here, gotta say that. But then again, you have space for like handbags here. And this is a central glove box, so to speak. There's an inductive charging pad on the top, and then you can slide down this here, and then you can put all your clutter in there. Here, 2 USB-C charging, 18 and 60 watt, for example. And then you can put the cable here like this, that you have it clean below, on top, and you have the stuff below, and then you can charge it here with the cable. So that's also possible. Yeah, tell me what you think about this interior, and also how would you actually rate this interior to the iX3 and the GLC electric. Yeah, I just noticed that the door doesn't open that wide, so when installing child seats, that's maybe not the best solution. However, quality again really nice, everything nicely covered. Also here at the door from the inside, this is even covered here, so that's pretty cool. And you see these 2 buttons here, and these buttons here are actually the electric control for the rear seats, and appreciate to have such a luxury feature here. So you can also see it right here, the difference then, like 2/3, 1/3 split, so you can make it more upright, more for like cargo position, or you would rather have it all the way backward for the most comfort. There's also a lot of headroom left here in the rear with 199, 6x2. This middle console is really wide. Then you have some cup holders with some, but they are quite shallow though, I'm gonna say that. But seating comfort itself is nice. Legroom here is also okay, and this is also softly covered. So there's hardly any hard pack plastic material here in this car, and I appreciate that. Yeah, it's good seating position, 2 USB-C chargers here, and again 18 and 60 watt. And you also have an own climate unit. You even have seat heating in the rear, given that this is the Ultra version, the highest trim of this vehicle. But yeah, basically checking all the boxes. If you fold the seats, by the way, you have this typical Volvo mechanism that here the head restraints go down. And this, of course, also a helpful feature that you can see better to the rear from the front. And as soon as you need the rear seats, you just push them up. And here, especially like the top, this is like a perforated leatherette, and this is also extremely soft then for your head. So it's a beautiful trunk or boot at 520 liters. It's the official figure. Opening it here below. And then we have a manual cover. And yeah, sometimes it's a little bit weird to put that in. Yeah, but you can live with that. Rails left and right. This is getting close here, but still works here vertically with the cabin trolley. Then we have 1.40 meters in width, and we have the standard length also about 1.40 meters. And they have an interesting solution. So this top cover here cannot be put out, but it can be folded up, but not, well, okay, that's interesting. So it was like with all cars I had so far, it was like fixed, but maybe it was just like, you know, very much put in there. And now we just discovered that you can actually just with a little bit more force put that out right there. So that's news. I have really like literally just discovered that. Interesting. So you can also put that whole thing out if you like, but I think there's not much. I mean, there's a little space more underneath there, but there's probably not much use in putting it all the way out, but you can maybe better clean that. But here, there's like a small space underneath there. More the secret or key to that is that you can here fold these individual things. You just fold this one, and then you have this plastic bag here, with some crabs, crabs. Yeah, and this is where you can maybe put some, wet bathing clothes or something in there, and just, you know, carry them cleanly. And then this one here, they can put additional bag, maybe for groceries. It's a nice bag.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I think
something like.
forget the
You always forget the grocery bags. Yeah, that's just the thing. So yeah, I mean, that's nice, and a lot of storage underneath. And then also the i3, for example, does not have that. Here, you can press these buttons. You have to hold them a little bit longer. And then you have the remote fold mechanism. The head restraints also go down. But in this case, I think the head restraint blocked it a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I have to lift it a little bit and then like this. And that goes also nice build quality here from the back side of the seats. And then we have, by the way, here the standard height of 70 centimeters, 28 inches. And the total length here of, it's quite decent, 1.85 meters or 73 inches. Performance mode.
Ooh.
That was the first, like 70 to 130 kilometers an hour. Here with the P10 all-wheel drive, ultra trim. We are below 5 seconds.
22-inch?
22-inch wheels, yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Yeah, and the 92 kilowatt-hour battery. And the sprint 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 62 miles an hour is less than 5 seconds. Yeah, thank you so much for using the wiper fluid just in front of another car. Some people do that. Yeah.
We love that, yeah.
Yeah, we love that. Yeah, and we start with some German Autobahn, of course, here with the Volvo EX60. And
of course, our partner look outfit. Do you notice?
And
yeah?
we tried to dress according to the interior of the car in this case. Because four-wheeler greenish on the outside is a little bit trickier, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's, of course, road trip time! Yay! So we're really gonna do a long haul today, tell you all about our experience normal driving.
Yes, efficiency and charging.
Charging. Yeah.
Charging. Yeah.
Charging
Yeah.
will be very exciting indeed. And yeah, performance mode here is for best boost, but you can also go standard or even range. And honestly, this car is so quick in acceleration that range for most time is okay. And it's separated with the suspension, so we can go to a firmer suspension because this one is also equipped with the adaptive suspension.
Yes.
Otherwise,
And you notice that, yeah.
Here, for example, now that's like hard.
Stiff,
It's
yeah.
in German. So it's a stiff one. Let's see if we notice the differences. So this one gives me more feedback now from the road and so on. It would be good then for tight corners and everything. We will also be able to test it very soon.
Yeah.
Here the motorway makes a transition. We can also check that one out. That might be a good setup for that one. But when I started driving, I directly set it here to soft. There's also standard mode in between. And that felt so smooth.
So floaty, yeah.
Yeah. Although we have the 22-inch wheels mounted here. And you know they are also...
Is this the largest wheel?
Yeah, you can also go for 20 or 21.
Okay, yeah.
I think, yeah, there's nothing above it. Yeah,
That's
so,
our best advice to go smaller.
yeah.
Yes.
Smallest
21
wheels
or
is better.
20 inch is enough, yeah.
20-inch for the best range because these are also slimmer in the width. The 21 and 22 are wider tires, and that also has a negative effect on the efficiency. So here now is soft. Let's go over these bumps here. Yeah, that's nice. Like,
That's
you know,
nice, yeah.
let's now put the other extreme, like
But I noticed
now.
some booming.
Oh, you know?
Ooh,
Yeah,
yes,
a little
it's
bit of booming
Yeah, a little
noises.
bit boom. It's fine, but
Yeah, here in the stiff setup is notable. So you do feel the differences. Now we do this motorway, this German Autobahn transition here. Oh, this 3 Series there in front of us has already is an M3 actually, right? M3 has already has also the number plate of M3.
but nice in the corners.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, it's actually good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and there also the stiffer suspension helps also for passengers that
Yeah,
we
and
don't
for my
have.
tummy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually cool. So it's good that we can actually change.
And how is the steering wheel? Because it looks a little bit small.
It is small, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unusual that it's so small, but it does give you quite direct feedback.
Maybe it's more handy than
Like that?
with that.
You can
small-
also change that a little bit here in the... there it is. So you can make it a little bit stiffer. So I usually prefer a little bit more steering feedback. But you can also make it like really, really soft where it's gone. Yeah, it changes back quite quickly there, right? That's... Yeah, you see that when you want to change something while driving, that's you need someone to assist you with that.
Do you want it
definitely.
stiff or standard?
Yeah, leave it
fine.
for
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Maybe like
Maybe
then-
I change it later. Yeah.
And this in here, for the quick setup, you can also change what you want to have here in the quick setup. But I think the suspension is really good. You know, they have a suspension here, so
Yeah, I'm
and
happy with it.
later on there will also be the air suspension available in the cross-country version. We don't have the possibility to drive that one yet, but we'll be able to do that at a later stage. Now let's go back to the soft setting.
Yes.
That's nice, like for a
Now
long...
we can start our long journey. Yeah.
And here, speed, you see 140 kilometers an hour now. So we're already now towards 90 miles per hour.
It's so
150.
silent.
Super silent,
And we have the acoustic windshield here in the front and in the back, right?
So yeah, I mean, there's acoustic windshield standard, but then here the acoustic side windows.
Yeah, side window, sorry.
Front and rear. So the lamination inside there. So it has a good passive dampening. But then there's also the active noise cancellation. That has been a point of discussion, definitely. I mean, here now at 160 kilometers an hour, like 100 miles per hour,
You hear nothing.
it's
really.
super silent.
I love that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird with your ears.
I mean,
yeah?
here, the interesting thing is, I mean, the passive noise cancellation is, I mean, superb anyway. That's pretty cool. And the insulation also helps that it's not getting that hot on the inside. And also it blocks UVA rays as well, not only UVB. So it's also good against skin cancer, for example, when driving a car, and it's also not getting that hot. The only disadvantage of these laminated windows would be that you might get a problem when you're drowning in a river, and then you cannot like crush them from the inside.
Ah,
That's
then
the
you need
downside.
a special.
Yeah, but that's even,
thing.
I mean, you're basically lost. So you need to
Yeah, okay.
roll down the windows before they stop working, or you're lost basically. That's the downside of these windows. So don't drive with this car here in the river, please. Just to mention that.
Or you all need to know the series here from Grey's Anatomy, where they,
Oh.
yeah.
Has anyone, everyone
Yeah,
watched that
there
one?
was one in the river, and then he came and was like, "Ooh, I can, yeah."
Crush the window from the
Yes,
inside,
yeah.
and yeah. So always ups and downside to that one, but bottom line is that this car is extremely silent. You also have the active noise cancelling effect that you have something like a vacuum next to your ear.
Yeah.
It's tough decision because I feel when we're driving really fast, like 150 and so on.
Can extend that.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's nice. Here, the sunblind is
It's nice, yeah.
extendable. That's good. I read that in the GLC it's also possible, but it's like a €60 extra. And I was like, come on.
Come
really?
on, Mercedes.
Yeah, this is really tough. So the active noise cancellation, to my taste, it's too much when you're driving slow speed, but when you're driving really high speed or have music running or the windows down, then it's not such a problem. But to
Yeah,
me,
because you hear the wind, then it's maybe not so.
yeah, like
weird.
there's still something you
yeah,
hear from
yeah,
the exterior.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough choice. I mean, here in this case you don't have a choice. In the BMW iX5, you can choose if you can activate or deactivate the active noise cancellation. I think that's the way to go. Or maybe it would be even cooler if you could maybe like trim how hard that is. You know, if it's maybe like 50% or 100% or whatever. But I think here the problem is that they have it installed and that's it. You cannot deinstall that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you need to test it. Yeah, maybe
so
at your dealer, and then you drive it, and then you.
I would recommend that. So at 100, I mean, I would say like I feel it, but it's not that. But everything below 100 is to me really a little bit annoying because that's like a vacuum next to your ear. But when you drive quicker, then the feeling disappears.
Yeah.
Not
at lower speeds, you maybe need to listen to some music. Then it's fine.
All that, yeah. Let's try that out later.
Yeah.
We have to do it off camera because of the like legal rights issue with music copyright and stuff, you know. But you know, when it's like mid-speed, it has the assistant systems. A few interesting points to mention here is that the speed limit chime. That's why I want to, abbreviation speed chime. This one works either with the standard beep beep beep, you can turn it off, or it works with that you have like a resistance in the pedal, and that's an interesting thing. I mean, you can set it in the infotainment system, but you can also deactivate both here with the button on the steering wheel, or
it's like a favorite button there.
Yeah, favorite set button here. You can also easily deactivate it in the infotainment system.
You have a button for this. Yeah.
So that's good. But when I have it activated, and I've also set it with this pedal, it's like, okay, now I'm approaching 100, and now it's like I'm moving a little bit through thin air with the pedal, with the foot. So I know that then I would need to push harder, and then it goes above that. Mm-hmm. And you can argue that that is maybe a more pleasant way instead of bing, bing, bing. But you can also choose that. So here you really have the choice between bing, 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 resistance in the pedal, or everything off.
Thomas has always the best things to explain, and
that's Thomas Auto for memes.
Yeah. Bing, 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 or not.
Bing, 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 bang, bang, bang. So I mean that's a nice solution. And then let's check out the assistance systems as for cruise control and.
But there's no hands-off feature.
Not hands-off, no. BMW is definitely leading that one overall in the assistance systems at this moment. So, and now, I wonder why. There we go.
No.
So you have to press here once in the middle, and then you can choose between like active steering assist or not. And this is the best implementation in the Volvo so far, I feel. It's the smoothest, the calmest. And you can also put a semi-automated lane change. In the
maybe
that
because
was the car was
Audi,
moving
yeah.
in there. So let's see, let's try it again. No, let's try it again. Yeah, there's a lot of traffic here at the moment.
Yeah,
so now
I think it's fine.
not smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was smoothly done. So nice. Yeah, as I said, best application in the Volvo so far. The iX3 is even a little bit more above that,
Yeah.
and of course has that hands-free feature. But this is a good application of the assistance systems. Totally fine with that. Let's move back again. That should be a little bit easier here because there was now some space. It's nice.
Yeah.
Feels also smooth
Yeah.
for you. Yeah,
It's fine, yeah.
that's good. So, yeah, I mean, that's really nice. And I mean, the symbols also work. Difference is that in the iX3 and in the Mercedes GLC, they work with like tipping the indicator, and then it does the semi-automated lane change. And here, and also with some other brands, you have to hammer them in. Then it does the automated lane change here.
But when you know it, then it's fine, I think, yeah.
Yeah. The roof, by the way, we have set it to
Getting a little bit warm, but not hot. Yeah, we will
still
see.
okay.
We will test that, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's also the thing now here on the motorway that, I mean, there's a lot of wind going over the car.
Yeah.
That's maybe also
Parking
cooling
is
that one down.
maybe more important than
Parking is the thing. We tested it once on the parking lot in Barcelona, and it was getting quite hot. We still have like the digital shade activated because there's less glare. Doesn't change how much heat is coming in, but at least there's less glare. You know?
And you have the seat ventilation. That's also really
cool.
nice. Yeah, it's cool.
So your level 2, for example, is that you.
That's not too loud for you because it's.
Yeah. I mean, here on the motorway, would you hear that?
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, when you're at level 3 and you're city driving, then you are actually hearing that quite a lot. I think to make way for this truck here to move over. But here on the motorway, you can also put it on level 3, for example. You know, so I mean, you have a very good comfort package here, and the list price is, in comparison to like iX3 or the GLC EQ or GLC Electric, as I now call it, is quite good. This car, as it stands right now, 78,000 euros, and then in the Ultra Pack you have everything included. Everything.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I mean, as nice assistance systems, it's super calm.
Good interior quality here. Yeah,
that's nice.
I love
here's
this.
everything
And
soft.
here with the wood.
Yeah, Scandinavian atmosphere, living room atmosphere.
IKEA.
Seat cooling, seat heating, steering wheel heating. I don't have a head-up display, but the instruments are
huge, yeah.
Large and quite far away, so I have a long focus. One thing I gotta mention, and that really triggers my OCD, the steering is not straight. And we have that in many vehicles lately, and I'm not sure what it is. I mean, sometimes it should be, fixable by software, but here, this is a straight steering wheel, and then I turn right. And now I'm going straight, and the steering is turned to the left.
I'm always like, oh no.
Totally triggers. Yeah, when it's like, I mean, maybe the first minutes I don't realize, and then I look down and like,
oh no, he noticed that.
Drive that. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. For example, last time in the Leap Motor review, I also noticed that, and then also some 2, 3, 4 other comments came in.
Oh, really?
And said like, yeah, I have the same thing in my Leap Motor. The steering wheel is also off. We had that in our Audi S5 personal vehicle. Also, that was fixed by software, but only after 2 tries. And I think I told you that story was like a 3-hour long story with all the hassle I had with just putting the steering wheel straight. Yeah, but you can't ignore it. It is there. It is somehow, at least I see it, and I don't like it. I will give Volvo that feedback definitely, and also keep you updated what they say about this. And I don't know. I have to maybe check the other review we did earlier, if that
maybe we can see it.
Yeah, it should be able to see that in the other review as well. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm used to the small steering wheel now. Why not? Here for the elbows, it's also fine.
Yeah, it's soft here.
With the comfort.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the seats?
Yeah, the seat is fine. The door is maybe a little bit, I don't know.
Like with the
First
opening.
I was like, where's the opener here? Yeah.
I mean, new openers from the outside and from the inside.
Yeah, but outside there's a light, so you know, oh, okay, there's a light, I can open it there. But here is nothing, so yeah. When I drive with my mother, I think she is like, oh, where's the opener here? Yeah. But the seat is fine. The BMW seat is better. Yeah.
True.
The Einsitzhöhe is plusher, but
like the seating depth.
Yeah, seating depth is more plush, but it's fine. Yeah, it's a little bit narrow here.
A little bit narrow. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I would say comparable to the GLC seat.
Yeah, but I think it's Volvo. No, it's a BMW, Volvo, and then GLC for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And for you?
I mean, BMW definitely the iX3 and also the iX5 if you want to take it into the.
But I think it's a little bit better than the GLC seat.
Could be. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe so. It always depends on like which exact seat and which material you pick. But I would rather see them like somewhat equally. But I mean, it's good. Fair feedback.
Yeah.
But definitely what we agree on is that the BMW seats are. Top and when you go for the comfort seats, the sport seats look awesome and are great like here, but in the sit bone area, the BMW comfort seat for the iX3 and also for the iX5 are at this moment leading it. But nevertheless, I mean we will drive 6 more hours here now in this car. And are you afraid of that?
No.
That's a good sign.
Now I'm happy. We will speak later about
it.
We'll
speak later again. If
and maybe I drive a little bit then. Yeah.
Now the first charging stop, 9%. We'll basically measure from 10% to 80% state of charge. Let's see what we can score in the maximum kilowatt charge. So we had a fast charge. This can do 400 kilowatt. Let's see what we can store and what is like the final time, 10 to 80% state of charge. Really looking forward to that now. So plugged in and directly starts at 360 kilowatt. That's cool. So official maximum peak is 370 kilowatt. So we're already very close to that. That already looks very promising. Let's follow up on that. And look at that. It even went above the stated limit. It was at 377 kilowatt for a very short time.
We were both like, oh!
We were both like, whoa, is that real? We have reached 80%. This is the charging curve. So there we go. So 80% was 16 minutes. There we go. So it was 80% at 16 minutes straight. That's exactly as promised, optimum. And then here, that was like 370 kilowatt. And then here, like about in the middle, like about 50% something, 50, 60%. Yeah, here, around 60%. Then it dropped, but it's still over 100 kilowatt. So you can see that it's especially worth to charge it like 10 to 60, something like that in that area. And then it drops. But yeah, so quick right here. And overall 16 minutes, 10 to 80%. I mean, what can you say? All right, been driving now for about 6 hours or something like that. We'll do our first overnight stop soon. And the second charging stop, and yeah, Leah has been driving this second party now. I also got you some shots for shots like the light and so on. The light looks good, like we don't only have the Matrix LED, but the Pixel LED, the extended one, also with automatic high beam then. And not glaring others, but it did once like an automatic automatic light horn, and I was telling her, "Oh, you gave him a light horn." Like, she said, like, "No, I didn't do it." Yeah, because sometimes, I mean, the car says, "I can do it," but oh no, there's another car, and then it was like a brief of a second, like a fake light horn, so to speak. Yeah, but yeah, it was super silent here the whole ride. Once again, we are a little bit puzzled about. Sometimes it was like, "Oh, it's so cool, it's so silent," but sometimes again, is it maybe too much, the active noise cancellation? So it's a little bit back and forth. But you happy with driving?
Yes.
What was the best in driving?
The silent drive, yeah.
Yeah, Leah's already tired right now. Arrived at the hotel right now. But I think we gotta go to the charging station one more time before checking in. That we can start right away the next morning again. All right, next charging stop, and this time we start at 15%, and let's see. Look at that. I mean, that is very good performance from that car here, directly 300 kilowatt. And here in the infotainment, the car says it could charge 330 at this moment, but the charging station is only giving 300 max. So you always have to see, like, is it the fault of the car or the charging station? Here in this case, the car could even do more. And yeah, you've seen it earlier. And you also have this nice visualization there in the front in the instruments. And here that was again very important to show that it really puts this power up to at least 50%. There we go, here at 57%, it slowly starts dropping now. All right, 80%, and yeah, once again, like 16 minutes, in this case 15 to 80%. So basically same result, and let's take a look at the charging curve. There we go. A little bit different than the last time. We didn't have such a high peak, but then the drop was maybe a little bit later, I don't know, but yeah, similar result, definitely pretty cool. Okay, and a good night's stay, and now I'm in the rear testing the rear comfort, and I also want to start working with the laptop, and that's of course then safer because in the front there's the airbag. Might think about, you could also deactivate the airbag in the front when you're sitting there with the laptop. That might be, yeah, I gotta do some research on that. But then the question is there like a side airbag or something? Yeah, it's always some considerations. But it's also good to test the comfort in the rear, and suspension is really good. So in the iX3, I was like bop, 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 in the rear. As soon as it, you know, has the adaptive suspension, maybe we can retest it again with the iX3. But here, adaptive suspension in the rear is really nice. This one has like an inbuilt lumbar support, this rear seat. Not too pleasant to me. Some like it, some don't. I'm more team no lumbar support, so it's too much for me. Other than that, it's fine. Also, you can adjust the angle here of the back seat, but I have it all the way back then for most comfort. And then here's some, you know, some water cup holders. They're quite shallow, these cup holders, though, gotta say that. And we have to take a look at the AC unit here down there. And also, there's some special things to say, like how my feet are put there in the lower part. So Leah is driving again. It's also a nice perspective. Hello. And then here, the rear unit. So you have to deactivate it in the front first, and then you can change like the direction a little bit, and there's the seat heating, but yeah, obviously it's warm enough at the moment. So on the one hand here, for the feet, the cutout is quite nice. So there's a good deep cutout, so my feet are low, but what are these here? So this is rather dangerous because you come very close with your feet there, so that's not the best solution, I feel. I have the seat all the way forward at this moment. So now a short stop in Innsbruck, Austria, and I mean, we want to go for maybe some lunch now or something, and we found now an AC charging station, like a small one.
Only 11 or what?
11 kilowatts, but
yeah.
I mean, why not? While we're like at lunch.
In the shadow with the tree.
Yeah, very good. So as an EV charger, you always search for some trees, especially when it's hot like there. And yeah, now it's also charging here, and it's just like at the side of the road then in this case. Yeah, why not? And now the dynamic driving test. We arrived in South Tyrol, beautiful area of course, and we've been doing the same test with the Mercedes GLC.
Yes,
electric,
the same road.
Yeah. So same road as well, same trip here, so we can very well compare. And yeah, let's go one more time. No, not off-road. Oh wow, that reduced the speed significantly. So yeah, we can accelerate some like 30 to 60 or something. How tight? Oh, that is 30 to 70. So yeah, I mean this 4.6 seconds in the acceleration figure.
But there are no handles for me.
Yeah,
I don't know where to hold on here.
No
here, maybe in the door here. I don't know, because there is no door handle. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe here.
But holding on here is not that practical indeed. Very interesting will be also suspension-wise with the GLC electric. We had here the air suspension. We could set it to sport mode, but you still
Now
feel
it's
the air
and now
suspension.
it's soft here. in
Now
the
for
Volvo,
soft, the question is, do you get sick in
Yeah.
a little bit, maybe?
It's better than in a GLC. I feel that immediately.
Yeah. But now
But
let's
now we can
make it a little bit
switch
firmer,
it to firm.
suspension firm.
Yeah, that's better.
That's
Yeah.
it's
I'm
interesting because
super sensitive to that. Yeah.
because me as a driver, I don't feel it. I mean, I feel it a little bit, but not that much.
Yeah, maybe we can switch later when I drive down. Mm.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Sure. Why sure? I mean, it is fun to drive. The steering is still quite light, so I would always set it to the like strongest setting as for my taste. The car is still very calm. Of course, the passive and active noise cancellation really keeps the volume down. We also feel it here when doing the agile driving. And I mean, yeah, the air suspension, which will also be available in the cross-country version, is good when you drive straight and want to have max on comfort. But here in this dynamic atmosphere, we also said the iX3 was better there because it's the sportiest car from this pair, or this pair of three, so to speak, or this trio. And here, if you have then the adaptive suspension in the Volvo and set it to firm, it's actually quite nice for
I like
the
that.
agile
Yeah,
driving.
for agile driving, it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, you see that the interior is inspired by the Geely company, by the Chinese mother company. That's, I mean, no doubt about that.
But not the suspension.
Yeah.
Because the Chinese vehicles are always so soft in suspension.
Indeed,
On the one hand side, it's fine, but on the other side, when you drive agile, then it's not that pleasant for the passenger.
Yeah, you feel like Leah said that this one here has the European influence of suspension technology and so on. So we would definitely put it like in between the GLC and the iX3. So the iX3 is least comfort from suspension, but sportiest driving.
And the booming noise is very loud in the iX3. Yes. Yeah.
And then this one here, and you can also like adjust it a little bit. Of course, we have to see when the iX3 gets the adaptive suspension.
Of course, yeah.
And then also we have to see how the EX60 cross country with the air suspension rates against the GLC electric.
And the GLC maybe without the air suspension. That's another test.
Exactly. Yeah. So
we have a lot to compare there.
Yeah. So that you really have to go into the detail then and see like which suspension is built in which vehicle. So that's always like just talking about the moment here.
So beautiful.
Yeah. What a beautiful landscape here. But yeah, I mean, let's say it's not the most fun dynamic car. But especially when you set the adaptive suspension, if you have, I mean, there's also here one without the adaptive suspension available in the EX60. This is not standard. It is in the Ultra version is included. But you can drive it in a fun and agile way, But I would still say that the focus is more on, calming down and everything.
Very silent and smooth. Yeah.
But if you want, you can still have fun, and it does everything quite well. So all the different driving, impressions and charging and everything. So they really have been hitting all the hard facts to check here.
Yes.
Right? Now to prices, then efficiency and real-world range test, and which one would we pick after this experience now? How do they relate? Volvo EX60, BMW iX3 and Mercedes GLC electric. Very interesting aspects. So first and easy part of that is the pricing. So this one is the lowest in the list price in comparison what you get from these three. 63,000 euros is the German entry-level price with the smallest battery. Then you only pay 3,000 euros more for the mid-size battery, and then 72,000 euros for the P12. The availability of this vehicle here is somewhat restricted at the filming of this review, so you cannot really order the cross-country yet, and also the P12 has very long waiting times, but it might be then changed when you watch this review at a later stage. This vehicle, as it stands here right now, mid-level battery, which is already, let's say, big enough, but then full spec with the Ultra trim is 78,000 euros. Which is of course not a cheap car at all, and the Chinese competition are really pushing and offering vehicles at a very lower price. I mean, the XPeng G6 and the G9 is a good example for that. For example, the Zeekr 7X, also to mention these. But in relation to the GLC electric and the iX3, still a nice price region in comparison. Then to the consumption test. So the first time we did this review, the temperature was a little bit lower, and maybe also the asphalt was a little bit rougher. Weather and the ground conditions always play a role, wind resistance and so on. This time it was really hot, which is a good thing because the air is less dense. And the good thing is also that we did the comparisons with the GLC EQ, GLC Electric as they now call it, and the BMW iX3 in the same temperature conditions. So this one here now, at 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour, at 17 kilowatt hours or more kilometers, 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour. At 130 kilometers an hour or 80 miles an hour, it was at 22 kilowatt hours or 2.8 miles. And at 160 kilometers an hour or 100 miles per hour, it was at 33 kilowatt hours or 1.9 miles. And what does it mean? So for this very battery, means then a range of 540 kilometers at the 100 kilometer thing, 335 miles, 418 kilometers or 260 miles of range at 130 kilometers or 80 miles an hour, and at 160 kilometers an hour or 100 miles per hour, we are at 280 kilometers or 170 miles. I also have the numbers here in the screen. And if we now compare the other ones, so at 100 kilometers an hour, the iX3 was best with 15, then 17 for the Volvo, 18 kilowatt hours for the GLC. So this one was a little bit more efficient at 100 kilometers an hour than the GLC, a little bit less efficient than the iX3. But then at 130 kilometers an hour, for example, this one here was actually a little bit closer. So closer to the iX3. It was still better, the iX3, and also very close to the GLC EQ. So there the GLC EQ was a little bit better then. So that's interesting, you know, at 100 kilometers an hour, this one is a little bit better than GLC Electric, and at 130, the GLC Electric is a little bit better because of the two-speed concept, and air suspension lowers the vehicle. Might that be different than with the cross-country version? Because that one can also lower the air suspension. We have to see about that. And at 160 kilometers an hour, 100 miles per hour, this one was also then a little bit worse than the GLC Electric. But bottom line is that they all come quite close as for the consumption. And then you can really vary because all of these three models offer different battery sizes meanwhile. But the bottom line is really that you can pick all of these three as for the efficiency and real-world range, and you can score very good range with it. And I mean, charging-wise, this one is really setting the tone. Super, super quick charging results here, as you've seen here today. That's very, very cool. So then the main question remains, which one to pick? It really depends on your personal preference. So we can really say, after having tested all of these three in the most thorough way we've probably ever done with a pair of three vehicles, that we can say you can buy any of the three, no doubt, and they're all amazing vehicles. To me, one of the three best overall vehicle picks at the moment on the market. Not maybe in price performance, because they're the premium, they're expensive, and they are more affordable competitors meanwhile. Gotta say that, and the pressure is rising. But among these three, it's more about like which one do you prefer from the styling, especially like from the interior layout. And with the BMW iX3, the focus is it has the sportiest, most fun driving experience, at the same time the best seating comfort and the by far best assistance systems, and also with the hands-off feature. Then this one here, the Volvo EX60, is, let's say, a very good all-rounder in between, with the adaptive suspension already very comfortable, extremely silent on the interior, especially with this combination of passive and active noise cancelling. If that's not uncomfortable for you, you probably gotta test that. And you can, check all the features basically. This one delivers it all. And then the Mercedes GLC Electric with the air suspension delivers the best riding comfort when going straight. Maybe not the best then while cornering and so on, but it's also a very good technology with the two-speed concept. Air suspension is lower, and the GLC Electric especially efficient in comparison the faster you go, basically, you know what I mean? That's very interesting. And of course, then it always depends on the version, like which battery size do you pick? This one is of course cool that it will also offer the P12, the largest battery of these three. And with the cross-country version, if we would go for this one here, we would probably already dream of the cross-country with the biggest battery, because then you have like the everything checked basically. I also like the fabric seats in the cross country, by the way. Yeah, so they definitely all come close, and it is somewhat more a matter of personal preference. What is the what is your personal preference, and what emphasis? Do you more like sporty or more comfortable driving? Do you like a mix in between? Then I think this one is probably the fitting choice, you know. So yeah, very interesting. And of course, it comes down to the price. As for the list price, this one here is the most attractive offer. Then you have to go into the leasing rates. It seems to be that the leasing rates here for this one are also most attractive at the moment, whereas the Mercedes is the most expensive one. And then if all three vehicles come so close, it might just matter if the price is the right one. And of course, dealer service is such an important point. Do you have a dealer where you feel at home? And you say like, you know, hey, I'm being treated extremely well there. That is such an important factor, of course, when buying a car. So what do you think? Tell us in the comments. Of course, to consider is also the BMW iX5. It is a segment higher, and it is also more expensive. More in relation than maybe to the GLC EQ, because this is also more expensive. So then I think that price-wise it will be more a fight of iX3 versus Volvo EX60, and the GLC EQ does fight against both, but also against the iX5 a little bit, you know, when you think about these different price regions. So we are still looking into these three vehicles, and for us, how will we do it? We do consider all of them, and then we will look at the prices and then see, you know, like, hey, how much do we also maybe emotionally want this specific model, and what is then the concise offer for this specific model? That's how we are going to handle it. And this is also the exact reason why they come so close, why I cannot say like, this is number one clearly, this is number two, this is number three clearly. So it's a little blurry because they're all so good. What do you think about this? Tell me in the comments. Which one would you go for at this moment? And now check out the BMW iX5 or our direct head-to-head comparison, BMW iX3 versus GLC Electric.